In 1985, Coca-Cola had 200,000 positive taste tests. Their $4 million research was described as flawless. So why did it result in 8,000 angry phone calls per day and a national protest? In today's video, we are going to find the hidden focus in that story. To understand what happened, we need to go back in time. For 15 years, from the 1970s into the 80s, Coca-Cola was in a war. And it was losing. The enemy, Pepsi. More specifically, the Pepsi Challenge. You probably heard of it. People were blindfolded and given to cups of cola. One was Coke, one was Pepsi. Over and over again, people picked Pepsi. This wasn't just a marketing gimmick, it was a psychological attack that was working. Coke's market share, once seemingly untouchable, was steadily slipping. In 1972, Coke had about 18% of the market to Pepsi's 6%. By the mid-80s, that gap had shrunk dramatically. Coke's executives were in a state of panic. They felt they had to do something drastic. They couldn't just sit there and watch their empire crumble one sip at a time. The pressure was immense. If Pepsi was winning on taste, then Coke had to create a better tasting product. The logic seemed simple enough. So, they launched one of the most expensive and exhaustive research projects in corporate history, codenamed Project Kansas. It cost $4 million, which was a huge amount of money back then. They developed a new, sweeter formula designed to beat Pepsi at its own game. And then they tested it. And tested it. And tested it again. They conducted nearly 200,000 blind taste tests across the United States. The results were overwhelming, seemingly undeniable. The data was crystal clear. In these tests, the new formula, which would become New Coke, consistently beat not only Pepsi but also the original Coca-Cola. The numbers were irrefutable. About 55% of participants preferred New Coke over the original. And when pitted against Pepsi, New Coke's lead was even more significant. For the executives at Coca-Cola headquarters in Atlanta, this was it. This was the silver bullet they had been searching for. The data was flawless. The plan was perfect. They had a scientifically proven superior product. They were confident they had a winner on their hands. They believed this new formula would not just halt their declining market share but reverse it, finally putting an end to the annoying Pepsi challenge once and for all. They were ready to change the world. Or at least, change what the world was drinking. But here's where we find the hidden focus, the fatal flaw in their $4 million plan. Their massive research project, with its 200,000 data points, missed the one question that truly mattered. They had spent all their time and money measuring taste, but they completely forgot to measure emotion. Think about it. In a blind taste test, you're just comparing the sips of liquid. You're focused on which one is sweeter, which one has more fizz. You're making a rational choice based on a momentary sensation. But drinking a Coke was never just about the taste. It was about something much deeper. It was about memories of summer barbecues, trips to the movie theater, and sharing a bottle with friends. It was a part of American culture, an icon. It was comforting and familiar. The researchers never asked a crucial question: how would you feel if we took away your original Coca-Cola and replaced it with this new one forever? They asked if people liked the new flavor. They never asked how people would feel about losing the old one. They analyzed the product, but they forgot about the brand. They saw the can, but they missed the culture inside it. This was the critical oversight, the blind spot that would turn their flawless plan into a catastrophe. On April 23, 1985, Coca-Cola held a massive press conference to announce the change. They were expecting celebration. What they got was a firestorm. The public reaction was not just negative, it was immediate and ferocious. People didn't just dislike New Coke, they were furious at the company for taking away their Coke. It felt like a personal betrayal. The company's headquarters was flooded with angry phone calls, reaching up to 8,000 per day. They received tens of thousands of letters, all expressing outrage. People weren't just complaining, they were organizing. Protest groups formed, like the Old Cola Drinkers of America. They held rallies, printed t-shirts, and boycotted the new product. People started hoarding cases of the original formula, driving across state lines to find it. It became a national crisis. One psychiatrist hired by Coke to listen to the angry phone calls said that people sounded as if they were discussing the death of a family member. This wasn't about a soft drink anymore. It was about identity, tradition, and a sense of stability. In changing the formula, Coca-Cola had inadvertently trampled on a piece of American heritage. They had taken something that people felt belonged to them, and people were fighting back to reclaim it. The backlash was the marketer's worst nightmare come to life. The chaos lasted for 79 days. For 79 days, Coca-Cola was the villain in a story of its own making. The company was under siege. The executives who had been so confident just a few months earlier were now in full-blown panic mode. The negative press was relentless. Pepsi, of course, was having a field day, running ads that mocked Coke's monumental blunder. The pressure became unbearable. The company had to do something. They had to stop the bleeding. So, on July 11, 1985, less than 3 months after the launch of New Coke, the company held another press conference. This time, the tone was completely different. It wasn't a celebration. It was a surrender. The company's president, Donald Keogh, announced that they were bringing back the original formula, he said. The simple fact is that all the time and money and skill poured into consumer research on the new Coca-Cola could not measure or reveal the deep and abiding emotional attachment to original Coca-Cola felt by so many people. The original formula was rebranded as Coca-Cola Classic, and it returned to store shelves alongside New Coke. The public reaction was euphoric. It was a national celebration. It felt like a victory for the people. Sales of Coca-Cola Classic skyrocketed, far surpassing their previous levels and leaving Pepsi in the dust. New Coke, the supposed savior, quietly faded away over the next few years. This brings us to the great debate that continues to this day. Was the New Coke saga the biggest marketing blunder in history? A $4 million mistake that almost destroyed a global brand? Or was it an accidental, for-the-chest move of genius marketing? Think about it. Before the crisis, Coke's brand was getting a little stale. After the crisis, people realized just how much they loved it. The company brought back the original formula, and everyone rushed to buy it, reaffirming their loyalty. In the end, Coca-Cola came out stronger than ever. So, what do you think? Was it a colossal failure born from flawed data, or an unintentional marketing masterstroke that reminded everyone just how much they loved the real thing? Let me know your theory down in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you think about this one. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most fascinating business stories, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. See you in the next video.